Hey everybody, this is John from Pioneer Nexus MTG coming at you with a quick format update as well as channel update. So recently we released a guide about the new Combo Winter 2.0. Now, kind of jokingly titled that or clickbaited titled that, but the reality is there's a plethora of new combo decks in the Pioneer format. And apparently, Wizards is paying attention. In a recent Twitch stream, Andrew Brown and Dan Musser, who are part of the R&D team, were talking about the ban-restricted announcement that is coming out December 4th. And they have in fact confirmed that at least something on the Pioneer ban list, or is going on the Pioneer ban list. The biggest thing they talked about was really two parts. Number one, people shouldn't be dying on turn 3. Now, Wizards has kind of gone out of their way to make sure that people don't die on turn 3. Whether that be the banning of Winota that could sometimes kill on turn 3 with, say, turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Goblin Rabble Master or something, turn 3 Winota, unassailable board state, win the game. Or things like Undercity Informer, etc. getting kind of banned into oblivion just so they didn't face a turn 3 format. Geological Appraiser kind of breaks those rules as well. Now, you could argue that Greasefang breaks those rules, but Greasefang doesn't kill you the turn it comes down. The best case scenario is your opponent gets smacked and you have you hit them for 13 and you have two 4/4 angels, which theoretically should win you the game the next turn. Geological Appraiser, if you don't hold interaction up and your opponent plays it, you're dead. Almost 100% of the time. Now, there can be some combination of like hitting Eldritch Evolution, Eldritch Evolution, Eldritch Evolution, Eldritch Evolution, not hitting any of your clone effects. But generally, you get enough power in play with Trumpeting Carnosaur, Geological Appraisers, clone effects into your Doomscar Titan, or Ghalta into playing your Doomscar Titan, that the game is over. And they're slowly developing backup game plans like Torrential Gearhulks, playing kind of these split cards that get around the mana costs. So the deck is only going to get better, despite the restrictions of the deck building itself. So Dan Musser and Andrew Brown did basically call out and say, this deck's getting banned. Like, they didn't specifically say Geological Appraiser, but they said people shouldn't be dying on turn 3. Something from this deck is getting banned, and that's kind of the end of that particular discussion. Now, whether that means that something like Quintorius can combo, which is a turn slower, and gives you a little bit more room for counterplay, whether something like that or the new Amalia combo is going to be taking some hits, as that deck can theoretically kill on turn 3. If you go... I don't know that it can kill on turn 3, but it can certainly go combo off on turn 3. I guess theoretically, if you go turn 1 Mana Dork, turn 2 Prosperous Income, or turn 3 Collected Company, if you hit certain cards, you could potentially combo. But I digress. Whether that deck or the Quintorius Can deck are getting hit, I don't know. But those decks are more turn 4 cards, which is kind of like the old Modern rule. As long as you're not dying before turn 4, or your turn 4, your opponent's turn 3, or your opponent gets to see a 4th turn cycle, they're generally okay with things like that. Now, the interaction's a lot worse in Pioneer than it is in Modern. You don't have the pitch elementals, you don't have Unholy Heat, even things like Path to Exile, which don't even see play in Modern anymore. But Wizards did in fact say something from the Appraiser combos getting banned. They didn't really say whether something like Discover from Quintorius Canned or Amalia combo is going to get hit. So there might still be some new blood in the format. One curious thing they did mention, though, is it was a kind of offhand comment. Basically, they said, it isn't fair that people were able to grab cards out of their sideboard game 1 in mono green, most notably referring to Karn. Now, the weird portion of this is mono green might be at one of its weakest points since Winota was in the format. Now, you could say fast combo decks. Generally, Karn's not great against those, particularly if they're creature-based. However, Mono Green was kind of already on the downtick even before these cards came into the format. So it's kind of a bit of a weird timing. They're looking to possibly ban Karn. But overall, the format might be better for it. It won't completely kill Mono Green, but it will certainly make Mono Green much, much worse. If you want to take a look at the rest of the format right now, currently, if you look at the top played cards, there really isn't any like standout cards that are like obnoxiously hugely present. You have some creatures that show up because of Rakdos. You know, you have cards like Fable, which are pretty ubiquitous through the red decks. But you see like a lot of sideboard cards, removal spells. There isn't any particularly like overly dominant deck in the format right now. If you look at like the numbers from the past couple of weeks, Phoenix is like 10%, Rakdos is 10%, Convoke, which got some new toys, is like 7 or 8%. Blue Eye Control's up, but that's because Blue Eye Control has a really good Quintorius and Appraiser combo matchup, so I wouldn't consider that. This is more of a reaction to the current format than it is a statement of Blue Eye Control being really great. But I do think the format does need to go away from the turn 3 combo. You know, certainly leaving Quintorius combo and Amalia combo in the format could shake things out enough that I'm not sure they really need to touch Karn. But if Wizards feels this is the time for Karn to go, and Lord knows it's been a card that people have been calling for quite some time to go, maybe that's the time. They also possibly alluded to bringing something off the ban list. Now, we've already done an entire series of cards on the ban list for Pioneer and for Modern to that extent on the MTG Nexus channel. If I were to say definitively that I think a card could come off the ban list that would help the format, it'd probably be Smuggler's Copter. Sure, it would appear in all the aggro decks, but if you look, really the aggro decks are in a rough spot. The top 2 decks in the format right now, and even before the new combo decks came into being, Phoenix and Rakdos midrange both prey on the aggro decks. So, giving the aggro decks a little bit of a boost in terms of a card that it provides some selection, provides some stability, doesn't brokenly run away with the game even if it's unanswered, might be a positive of the format, but that's kind of a lesser guarantee. One thing they did guarantee is something from that turn 3 combo deck, and they did allude to it's kind of unfair that Karn can go fetch cards game 1. So, what does that mean for the format? It means things are kind of in a little bit of flux until next week. And a lot of people were a little bit annoyed with the Atlanta RCQ, or Atlanta Regional Championship, happening, I believe, the week after the ban list. Can't really speak to the fairness of that. I'm not somebody queued for it, nor am I somebody who even, I think, currently owns a Pioneer deck in paper. I think the closest thing I have to a playable Pioneer deck is the remnants of my old Modern, is it Phoenix deck? Which does have quite a few other cards, but I would need to pick up some pieces. Yeah, the format's definitely going to get shaken up a little bit further. And for quite a while, the format's been a little bit stale before these new combo decks come into being. So I hope they don't ban Amalia and Quintorius out of the thing. Especially Quintorius, I kind of enjoy playing on Arena in the Explorer format. So just keeping in mind, whatever gets banned in Pioneer is going to be banned in the Explorer format. So no more turn 3 Geological Appraisers, but get your free wild cards, right? As for the channel, I think the channel has been underutilized for some time. Most of my focus and energy, honestly, has been on the Modern format. I've kind of enjoyed playing Modern a little bit more. Had more success playing Modern more lately. Although I still have continued to play a decent amount of Explorer on Arena, so I still have some general feel of like the moves and shakes of decks that pop up. But we're definitely going to get back into trying to do a more steady stream of content. I don't think it'll be a huge jump from what it was previously. I'm going to try to aim for roughly 2 videos a week. maybe a play video and an informative video like a deck guide or something along those lines each week as we kind of clip into the new year with the holidays coming up, obviously. Now, the good news and the bad news. The good news is I had some backlog content that I was preparing to save up for the holiday season. The bad news is, because of these bannings, that content will be rendered null and void, so there will be a couple videos coming out of the next couple days to kind of, while it's still somewhat timely relevant, because I'm not sure what the effects on the format will be overall with the ban list. So it's kind of where things are going into 2023 and 2024 for the channel. Once again, if you do like Pioneer content and you do like both informative videos in terms of deck guides and stuff and a little bit of gameplay, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I think one of the goals heading into the new year will be to try to narrow down a deck that we play consistently on the channel, or at least kind of be the hallmark of the channel, or whether it be Phoenix, Rakdos, Midrange, some of the top decks will definitely give a little bit of play and see which ones I kind of enjoy the style most. I can definitively say it will not be Lotus Field combo. We tried that deck for some time on this channel, and while there were certainly views for it, I'm just not personally a fan of the deck playing it. So unfortunately it won't be Lotus Field, but that does open up a lot of other possibilities that we'll explore. So stay tuned for that, and then I'll try to have some polls in regards to that so we can get some idea of what the people want to see and also what I want to play, see if we can kind of meet in the middle and kind of agree on a deck that will kind of be the hallmark of the channel, with still doing, a little bit more in-depth look at a particular deck at a time besides the one we're playing normally, trying to kind of line up deck guides and mulligan guides and stuff like we had for Mono Green, which all that may go out the window now, but anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you for our next video.